Trump 2.0 is in an absolute free fall. The man is face planting. He has clear signs of dementia. He has clear signs of losing his motor skills. He's surrounded by a bunch of absolute morons, and the American public does not like it when this man governs. For some reason that we'll have to deal with later, they buy his bullshit when he's campaigning. But as soon as he gets into office, this happened with Trump 1.0, and it's definitely happening a lot faster with Trump 2.0. People can't stand it. They cannot stand what a drama queen this guy is, how tone deaf he is, decorating the Oval, building his ballroom, while people are absolutely losing their jobs and the economy is in a free fall. And he doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit. But the data is catching up with him. Let's watch the clip.
It's pretty clear, at least from a political angle, that Democrats won the shutdown. Why do I say that? Well, first, let's take a look at Donald Trump's net approval rating. It's way down from where it was pre-shutdown, right? Pre-shutdown, his net approval rating was at minus 10 points. Now it's at minus 15 points, the lowest his net approval rating has been during his entire second term in office. So the shutdown, it might have initially been helping Donald Trump out a little bit, or at least his ratings weren't falling, but now his ratings have sunk to a term too low.
What about Democrats? Is there a way to measure how they may have fared?
You have to look at the generic congressional ballot. Pre-shutdown, they were ahead by 3 points. Where are they now? They're ahead by 5 points. Their lead has widened. It is extended. When you look at those who are absolutely certain to vote, that is likely voters. We saw that in the Marquette University Law School poll last week. This 5-point lead went to 9 points. So the Democratic lead on the generic ballot has widened.
So as you can see, people know that this administration is setting up a blue tsunami. Historically, that's what happens. But I think in this case, the tsunami is going to be so large, it's going to be difficult for them to cheat because that's how many people are going to turn out to vote against them. But don't kid yourself. He will do everything in his power to cheat. He doesn't care about integrity or principle. And most importantly, he doesn't care about the office that he sits in, and he doesn't care about the country at large. And he sure as hell doesn't give a shit about his voters. He doesn't even care about his wife. All right. So you remember when Trump talked about these phones, these Trump phones, and he rolled out Dumb and Dumber, and they were going to have Trump phone, right? So people were like, oh my God, I'm going to order my Trump phone. It's $499. Well, like everything that Trump does, it's a lie and it's a scam and it's a grift. Kylie, pop up this tweet. Trump and Eric Jr. promised their patriotic, quote, made in the USA cell phones would be delivered in August to the MAGA rubes. Still no phones. And the made in the USA claim had been scrubbed from their website. Ron Filipkowski says this is scam number 1,284. NBC News reports. The Trump mobile phone is nowhere to be found. After months of delay, Trump Mobile has posted conflicting photos of the phone and scrubbed the mention of its made in the USA promise. This is exactly what he does. He has just never had such a massive customer base in which to do it. And when you think about the fact that he has made billions of dollars within 10 months. And prior to him winning this campaign, he was looking at financial ruin and he was looking at prison time. He immediately starts doing all of these shakedowns, and so many people bent the knee. News organizations, universities paid him settlements, and he continues, despite all the crypto grifts, all the connections to Saudi, grifting a plane off of a taxpayer funder's dime from people who fund terrorism. He continues to grift hardworking Americans that think this guy is a patriot. They think, I love gods, I love gun, and I love Trump. And that's their whole ethos. And so they buy the Trump phone, and he doesn't fucking deliver it because he doesn't give a shit about his base. And typically this would be a crime to sell something like this. But who are we going to report the crime to? His DOJ? Like Kash Patel's going to do anything about it? And speaking of Kash Patel, he's in massive, massive, massive trouble because after 10 months of displaying breathtaking incompetent stupidity and ill-preparedness, it's taken 10 months for Kanks and others to realize what a horrific just complete faceplant of a pic of an FBI agent. This guy is FBI head director. Put this up. They're cashing out, you guys. Republicans against Trump tweet breaking. Donald Trump is considering removing Kash Patel as FBI director in the coming months as he and his top aides have grown increasingly frustrated by the unflattering headlines Patel has recently generated. And you may remember these headlines are he's using the government private plane to go fly his girlfriend around so that she can sing her country and Western songs. Another headline is he tweeted that his girlfriend, who's like 26, 27 years old, is one of the best patriots he knows. And she's done more for America than hardly anyone he knows, which is laughable. And he's also using government funds to hire protection for his girlfriend, on top of all of the other ridiculous incompetence this guy has going on day in and day out. And I want to say that there are people that work in the federal government, no matter who is president, that are civilians, that work for certain agencies, that care about their insurance. They care about having a stable paycheck. They're not political. These are the people, your everyday Americans, that this administration has demeaned and ridiculed and fired, and instead put up these grifters, thieves, con artists, and liars to grift off of your hard-working taxpayer dollars. And who the fuck are we supposed to report this to? Kash Patel? Well, his ass is about to get fired. Moving along, Pete Hegseth, another narcissistic, whacked out appointment of Donald Trump's to be the Secretary of Defense, which he now has decided he wants to call it the Secretary of War because we're going to play offense instead of playing defense, and all this other jacked up, stupid, toxic masculinity shit that screams, I'm really not comfortable in my masculinity, so I have to say dumb bro shit to make you think I am. It's so obvious how painfully insecure these men are. So Pete Hegseth has been going after Senator Mark Kelly, who was a former captain in the Navy and a former astronaut. This man, by all accounts, has done nothing but serve the country, and he's serious about it, and he's patriotic about it. He just happens to be a Democrat. But, so many in MAGA have been propagandized to think that somebody like Senator Mark Kelly, who wants to fight for equal rights for everybody, is somehow a demon. It's just bananas. So he's going to open up these investigations into Mark Kelly because Mark Kelly told his fellow service members, do not follow an illegal order. You took an oath to the Constitution, not to a dictator. We don't have a king in this country. So, of course, Pete Hegseth is spiraling. Kanks is spiraling. He's called on all of these sitting senators to be hanged because that's how delulu this guy is. But Pete Hegseth is dumber than a box of hot rocks. Put this up, Kylie. Keith Edwards tweets, Pete Hegseth couldn't understand how mirrors work. Put up Pete's tweet. He says, and he puts in quotation marks, Captain, which is so fucking disrespectful. So Captain Kelly, not only did your sedition video intentionally undercut good order and discipline, but you can't even display your uniform correctly. Your medals are out of order and rows reversed. When/if you're recalled to active duty, it'll start with a uniform inspection. All right. And here is Senator Mark Kelly's selfie that he took. And when you do that, it inverses the order of the fucking medals. And go back to Pete Hegseth's tweet. The fact that he is demeaning somebody who is a retired captain and retired astronaut and a sitting U.S. senator and demeaning the service that they did. He fought in combat, you guys. This guy is a combat veteran. And you have the Secretary of Defense playing this tough guy stuff, and you can't display your uniform correctly when all Pete Hegseth here is doing is displaying his abject stupidity. I mean, just a complete fucking moron that you literally would not hire to mow your lawn with a riding lawnmower. That's how incompetent this guy is. It's just so unbelievable that this shit goes on and they do all of this stuff day in, day out. And there are so many people in Congress and in the Senate, Republicans, who should be doing joint press conferences with Mark Kelly and truly supporting the troops and truly supporting the Constitution, but they won't do it because they're chicken shit cowards that are scared of an old man that can barely walk, can't blend his makeup, has a crush on Zoran Mamdani, and blows some guy named Bubba. It's so utterly insane that I'm sitting here talking about the United States of America. A lot of you know that I recently moved to New York, and when you move cities, you have to get all new physicians. And I think it's no secret to everybody that I'm completely obsessed with ZocDoc. I was able to go into my ZocDoc app and book in-network appointments with more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, primary care to urgent care, and so much more. Once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings right from your app. You can choose a time slot that works for you and click to instantly book this visit. I use this product and you should too. It makes navigating the medical system so much easier. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/IHIP to find and instantly book a top rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/IHIP, ZocDoc.com/IHIP. All right, moving along. I think Hegseth might be in Kanks's vision. I think he's going to do a whole cleanup. We heard he's going to fire Susie Wiles, his chief of staff. We heard he's going to fire Kash, that he's going to cash out with Kash. And Pete Hegseth, I think, is on the chopping block. Put this up. Spencer Hakamian tweets, fear has engulfed the Pentagon as Pete Hegseth is increasingly seen as unqualified. And I just want to say, I'm shocked that it takes 10 months for people to realize this. I mean, don't you remember the Signal chat and just the breathtaking laundry list of incompetent things that Pete Hegseth has done? But one thing Donald Trump hates is losing. And these poll numbers are so horrible, he can't hide from them. The jobs numbers are so bad, they won't release them. The GDP reports are so abysmal, he refuses to release them. So he is like a cornered little rat. What he's going to do is he's going to fire a bunch of people. And what's terrifying is the level of incompetence that will trot in after these people, because they're going to be worse. These people are going to be a million times worse. And finally, I want to leave you with a hot map of the United States and Kank's approval numbers. So as for people who are watching, the green means he's plus in those states. For people listening, it's a map of the United States with a few states in green, which means that Trump is plus something. And then a bunch of states in red, which actually means he's minus, underwater in these states. And what's interesting for me about this, you guys, as I look at this, Texas and Oklahoma, you guys, not one county went blue, not one, is at minus, it looks like 10. And then you go over to Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, same thing, minus 10 in deep, deep red states. You guys, if we can hold the line, this is going to be such a massive blue tsunami that the Democrats, if they choose not to govern incrementally and take a message of fiscal change, of FDR style social services and anti-corporate favors that they do for all of these corporations, which by the way, want to poison us with pesticides and inhaling all of their gases, and Trump's alleviating all of that. So they have free reign to do it. There could potentially be a huge mandate here to really make massive change that will help even the very poor people that bought this $499 phone that they're never going to get. Because at the end of the day, what separates the Democratic Party and or progressives from Republicans is we don't like your vote, we don't like your politics, but we're going to fight for your fat ass to have health care and to have clean air and have clean water. We can disagree about the other stuff, but our economic policies are for everybody. We don't cherry pick like Republicans do. All right, that's all we have for this episode. Pumps has been on vacation with her kids. A great way to support us is to buy our book, Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. Subscribe, like this video, leave me a comment to feed the algorithm, and I'll be back later with more news.